The Ukrainian people lived lives that were constantly being beat down by dictators. Vladimir Lenin was the first leader of the Soviet Union and wanted to control all nearby areas. When Vladimir died in 1924, Joseph Stalin took his place. Before an official genocide, Stalin was determined to attack the Ukrainian people. Stalin and the Soviet Union falsely accused citizens of crimes they didn't commit. Those accused would be shot or deported to prison camps in Russia. The official genocide lasted from 1932 to 1933. Collectivization took all private farms and livestock. This affected nearly 80% of Ukrainian farmers. Among these farmers were a certain group called kulaks, who were the wealthy farmers Stalin believed where an uprising would start. They were sent to unlivable parts in Syria. They had no food, water, or any survival supplies. Stalin forced almost all farmers to work in government-run farms with help from the Soviet Union. There, they received much less food than before and were forced to produce the food. Later on, Stalin forced the farmers to produce more food to the point where expectations were impossible. Those who refused to work were forced into collectivization. The hunger began as food became more rare. The kulaks and farmers began to rebel by attacking the government and burning down homes. Stalin planted more armed soldiers to stop the rebel, but they attacked those soldiers too. As a result, Stalin created a man-made famine to kill the Ukrainian people. During the famine, Stalin made food camps where food was stored. Guarded by the Soviet Union, food was nearly impossible to get. Those who got their hands on the food were punished in terrible ways. Most of the time, they were shot on sight. On the worst of the famine, approximately 25,000 people died each day. Total, 5 to 7 million people starved to death during the famine. It was common for parents to give away children, hoping for someone with food to share some with a poor child. Most of the time, these children were left to die. The leaders of the Soviet Union could punish anyone for using the word famine or hunger. For many months, Stalin didn't let Ukraine take any other food from other countries. The Soviet Union paid well-known people to say there was no famine. In 1933, in order for Stalin to get advances in technology, he needed trade from other countries. Countries around the world denied him because of the possibility of there being a famine. After this occurred, Stalin began to let food distribution through the country again. Slowly, the famine subsided, and food was no longer hard to get. In my eyes, what Stalin and the Soviet Union did to Ukraine is considered genocide. Stalin attempted to wipe out the Ukrainian people with a man-made famine because they did not like being ruled from a dictator. It was common for starving people to eat dogs, cats, and anything they could get their hands on. Stalin caused extreme famine to innocent lives every day.